The position that I have, there's a few that had it before me. This is not the first rendition of reality for humans. We've had to start it over a few times. Creating a species is a very intricate process. You have to go through certain levels, build it in their psyche. And then there's an order to things. You have to start at the innermost things and build them strong all the way out to the outermost things. So if you understand anything about the chakras, the innermost is your sexuality, and the outermost is your transmissions to the world. We are currently at a place where we are having to overcome the lower ranges. A lot of people say Earth is a center focused, it is a heart focused. But in order for the heart to truly be mastered, you have to truly go back in and refine what wasn't done correctly in the first place. And this is what I've had to do. I had to recreate the system from the ground up. So my system is basically us starting over, but then advancing to the place that we are because of the technology that I have. If I did not implement and fully successfully get to a secure place, we would have had to bomb up everything again on Earth, eradicate life, let it regenerate itself. Literally. The human species, if there's even one of us left, it will carry the conversation forward, so to say. It will carry the old ways forward. And that's really what these quote-unquote old architects wanted, was to carry their programming through again. Like they did with Noah, like they did with some of the other times where we boom up everything and then we bring through some programming. Yeah, we've had times where we got through, but we didn't eradicate the mistakes that carried them through. Because the person who was the architect saw that it was being done correctly, but the architect wasn't correct. I am the new architect, and not because I was like, hey guys, I'm the best. There was 4 other guys that made stuff before me. And there was a bunch trying to fight for my spot in this lifetime. None of them were as old as me. None of them had the experience I did. But they were boisterous, and they were like, I can do this job. And they didn't even know what they were doing. They were just trying to fill a position, and they didn't know the shoe size. They didn't know what it really took, how it was going to be. They're just like, I'm going to do it because it's a power position. If you do something just because it's a power position, the earth would have eradicated all of life on earth anyways. It would have just continued on the same path. Nothing would have changed. It just would have sped it up. Which is why the process was initiated. And the process is still going on. We are still going through an extinction event. However, because I actually, my consciousness has lived through extinction events. Listen to that for a second. My consciousness has lived through extinction events as a human. I've also gone into the places where I was a different form of consciousness in a different type of being. And that's actually where I pull most of my programming from. And then I tuned it to how the human works and what the human needs. And that's the new reality system. Did I know how complicated this was consciously to do? Of course, but that's like snapping a finger for me in consciousness. In the aspect of me that is creator, it's like seriously, you just say boom and then goes boom, and then you say tree and then tree appears, and then it's literally that way, and it fills in like automatically. It's a boom, 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 boom. It's a different realm, you would say, but it's not even a different realm. It's here, it's now, it's right where we are. For me, these other men that were doing it, I'm not a competitive person. I'm not a masculine by nature. I am feminine energy throughout different species. I am a creator by nature. But in order to be a creator and be good at it, you have to be a destroyer. It is just the way that it is, because you can't have too much creation and you can't have too much destruction. They are the paradox of one another. So you have to be very intentional with what you're creating. Otherwise, you're just going to get like a whole bunch of the same thing. And it's like, this is really boring. I've been through it. I literally have been through it. It's like you create all of these things that are the same. And you're like, oh, wow, that's boring. Let's try something else. So then you learn variations, and then you learn algorithms, and then you learn this and that and the other thing, and boom, boom, boom. Yeah? And then you get too complicated, and then you go, of course, and then you learn you can't do that. I'm here because I am not what you would even call an ancient soul. Because yes, I am, because a soul is carrying certain things from the last reset. So, yeah, I had a lot in my soul until I eradicated all of that business. I have really completely started over afresh. I have already gone through the extinction event personally and allowed my consciousness, as it is still here, to put through all of the new everything. And I have fully embodied that process now. And I continue to, as evolution is, as the rain falls, it soaks up and goes downstream and then goes back up into the air. And that's the thing. It's always raining, and it's always sunny, and it's always wet, and it's always dry, and it's always everything. Because that's just the way things are. And so that is exactly how evolution is. And so me as the architect, okay, I've called myself architect, engineer, God, consciousness, all kinds of different words that I've used to describe me, because so many different types of people are coming and paying attention to what's going on and what I'm doing. Governance, lawmaker, these are all things that I do. They're all different forms and thoughts of cultures and ideas, and I'm the one that does that particular job. If you look at all of those different names, that's what I do. Now, when I came through this process, I really had no idea being all of myself was literally all I ever needed, but it's all that I ever wanted to do. And that was enough to create all of this. That on top of like I said, all I want to do is just be my most fabulous, beautiful self. And I had no idea one of my greatest things was not about creating the new system, it was about securing the new system. Hey, security became my number one job. Security? Really? Is this what we have to do? But okay, like I understand. You know, I started to really get why security was such an important thing. And where are breaches in security in your human? Where are breaches in security in everything? And by me just being myself in my most natural form, I was allowing all of the the programming that the consciousness of Earth essentially was on, okay? And the architects that came before me were really into dominance, you know. They did a really powerful solar plexus, really powerful solar plexus, like let's go, let's go, let's go. And then really powerful, you know, motivation when it comes to having others be a motivation for you. And the reason they did that is because they wanted to dominate safety. And if you dominate safety, you break the whole chain. And this does not create beings that are solid. To have one that can break any means that that person as well can be broken into. So the thing is, as soon as one person has power over many, that one particular person, if they themselves have actual power over, then they themselves will have to continually fight that battle. You might be able to fight it 1 lifetime, 2 lifetime, 3 lifetime. You might be able to gain an army, create, you know, do something for 4 or 5 lifetimes. But here's the thing. Go into 100 lifetimes. You're going to eventually wake up in a position where you won't have what it takes to be the one that controls many. Because the many will always find a way to control you. Because no being likes to be controlled. Like it's a thing. It's a thing. Nobody wants to be controlled. But the human is designed for control because of how it needs to be receiving consciousness. And this is where the greatest problem in the previous architects, where they were so power hungry, the man in them just couldn't handle it. They got that D really strong. Like, yeah, we're gonna own this. We're gonna own the world. We're gonna own civilization. We're gonna own it. Hey, there's a huge, huge reason why my reality system 44 is available for anyone who's willing to do the work. If you can do all the things that I did at the same fabulousness that I did, hey, congratulations to you. Because if you get to the place that I got to and went through all of the bag of this and that and the other thing that I went through, you will respect me more than anyone that has ever existed. Because you'll be like, isn't this over? Isn't it over? Lifetime after lifetime after lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. And you'll wonder how I did it. Or you'll stay true to your course and go, hey, I see. I really see. Because anytime you desire control, you will lose every time. That's just how it is. So this is our opportunity now to evolve the species from a species that can be invaded to a species that is stable. And currently, the human race is one that can be invaded. And it is mostly invaded by a lot of other things. So it's cleanup time. That's one of the biggest aspects of the program. Well, the programming, I don't know. It's about keeping yourself pure as yourself. Because as soon as any aspect of any other consciousness comes through, you are no longer the creator of that particular being. This is why we can't share. This is why we can't co-pilot this. No. No. There's one pilot to the plane. One pilot to the plane. There's one pilot to the human. There's one pilot. There's one driver. They decide everything. There is nobody that, even if you are sitting in the passenger seat and you have a weapon pointed at them, that in their deepest fear moment, they won't turn right when you want them to turn left. There is no way. Because they have a different set of programs. And if they're working for you, then they're obviously at a place where they're going to do what they want to do last minute. It doesn't matter how much they wanted to follow you, how much that they cared about you. If they're in the driver's seat, even if you have a weapon, there is a point that they will be like, no, I am so over you, not left. And they go right. And that last minute, it does you wrong in ways that you cannot even understand. Your entire existence becomes burnt or corroded or whatever the case may be. So, in this moment where we are, humanity is both going through an extinction event and or a rebirth. And in order to go through the rebirth transition, you will have to have the new reality system 44. The reason nobody else can do it is because nobody else goes to the depth that I go to. You will have to be extinct and reborn as the original, like how stuff gets born when we've had to do Earth extinction events before. And that's okay. Your consciousness will just lose so much. Some of you won't exist anymore. It's just the way that it is. To tell you the truth, I only remember one reality before this one faintly. And the reason is I worked so hard on that one to try and create something that I would at least remember that one existed in this one and that there was other ones before. There's nothing there. I just know there's placeholders there, but there's nothing there. It's just like it was there and then it was deleted. It was there and then it was deleted. There's no information. None. Empty shell. And then there's such, like, the amount of information that came through from the last one over. It's because I was able to stay alive during the last one. And so I carried stuff through. But the thing is, a lot of it got, eradicated due to programming and all kinds of different things. And part of how the energy changes people and things, it disintegrates old programming. Yeah, but especially towards the end, I can see and remember certain little things. It's coded differently though, because it was a different architect than the one we've previously had, and then I am different again. So this is the thing. Each and every era is done by a different person, and I specifically am the only woman. There was a bunch of men, and there was a bunch of men behind me trying to do this thing too, and I was like, yo, like, we're just not doing this again, because, like, I'm human, and I'm gonna have to live in this, and I don't want to live in their world. Like, it's not, it's not happening. I've been in different life forms other than human long time ago, like, long time ago. And I was able to access that. It's kind of it's almost perpendicular. It's not parallel whatsoever. It's very perpendicular. And there's not much of that left over other than just the foundation of how the species is built. In an essence, like why there are species that is more advanced than us, so to say. Yeah. The greatest thing that you will ever know in yourself is yourself. It's your only purpose. It's the only reason you exist. You don't exist to experience anything outside of yourself, but your eyes allow you to experience things outside of yourself, and your mind allows you to create new things. It's part of evolution. It's literally the experience of being in existence, and then, like, okay, let's do this, and oh, we like that, and we're gonna create this, and this is how we get fruits, this is how we get vegetables. It's like, oh, this tastes nice, like, let's try do something like this, and oh, this is available, so let's try that. And then, you know, you get really creative with certain things, and then you learn how to create things fabulously. When you're a creator, like a true creator, you create some of the most fabulous things that we eat and experience in this particular life. But you also have to remember, everything you consume once had consciousness in it. Whether it was an animal, whether it was a fruit, whether it was vegetables, everything had consciousness in it. But consciousness itself doesn't actually feel pain. It just exists, and it's happy to exist. That's just the way that it is. It doesn't have all layers like you do as a human. You as a human, oh, you have a layer for this, and you have a layer for that, and you have a layer for this, and then you want to do that, and then you're excited about this, and then your expression, and then all these things. You have to as a human, consume other consciousness, or you have to consume what other consciousness created and left behind. You get to choose. Do you want to be an amalgamation of consciousnesses all put together, operating on only the highlights, like a public tarot reading, where you have 30,000 people listening to the same reading? There's going to be highlights that everyone's like, yeah. And it might speak to you really deeply because it is on deeper levels of you. But there's nothing quite like somebody telling you, yeah, this morning when you had that cup of coffee and you were looking at the sunflower pattern on the thing, and you're sitting there going, yeah. Yeah, I've paid you for this, so I have to be okay with the fact, you know what I mean? So you have to understand something really valuable about having something tuned just for you. So when you allow the consciousness to leave whatever thing that you are consuming, that includes your books, that includes your content, that includes everything. The consciousness needs to leave it, and you take in the bare bones of what it left behind. Then you can rework it how you want. Take the energy that it formed and say, okay, we formed sunflower seeds. How do we eat this? Can't really eat it. Well, somebody learned you can toast them and eat them, and they taste pretty good. So once you've enjoyed the flower petals and they've gone, you can say, okay, let's dry this, put it on a little toast, and eat the seeds, and it's good for us. It's a cycle of life. The earth eats your body when you're gone. The worms go in and go nom 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 nom. The mushrooms get excited, some bacteria to create itself. It's just how it is. So the more that you create positive experiences for consciousness to walk into, like a nice garden, instead of some place where you have people that have no respect for life come in and just tear off all the stuff and leave the bush in a mangled position. No. Let it blossom. Let it feel good about itself. There's been farmers that even play music to their plants, and their plants are like dancing on the inside. And while they're making leaves, those plants last longer and all kinds of beautiful things. The things humans have come up with to make consciousness experience plant life more enjoyable is beautiful. So when we do that for animals, and we do that for other humans, you have to understand that the human is the more powerful one out of all of this. So if you're doing something that makes another human uncomfortable, you literally have one of the most powerful tools on earth mad at you. But then again, we have a lot of malfunctioning humans, don't we? Because they've been taken over by so many different entities that promise them these. It's absolutely amazing, the story times that are just so it makes people not want to be great, makes them struggle for greatness, which is absolutely so far right. It's ridiculous, but they didn't know any different because the world has been programmed like that. And that's the last architect's fault, because he wanted domination. He wanted domination over this business. He was like, I'm gonna be the one that serves everybody and they're all gonna bow to me. Does that not seem familiar in every single one of the religions? Every single one of them. They just do it differently. But every time you approach one of their quote-unquote gods, you feel subservient to it. because that is not myself. I know that I'm par with myself. That's it. If somebody's 12 feet tall and I'm 6, good, I'm par with 6 foot. We're good. If 12 foot wants to squish me, then it squishes me and I reincarnate somewhere else. Woohoo! Like, really, that's where I'm at this point in time. Because as soon as you look at the 12 foot and go, you're no longer 6 foot, you are less than 12 foot. I'm not that. I'm 6 foot. I'm good with my 6 foot. I'm not 6 feet. I'm much more than that. But you understand me. So there's this internal understanding that one has to go through in order to actually be the architect of one's own life. So as I am the architect of the era that we are now in, if you choose to accept, otherwise you'll go through the extinction event, then you choose that. Now you have to do the same factor as myself. I don't want you to be me. Please do not copy anything that I am, because I'm me. I want you to be you. You're a different consciousness. Be you. So when you go to the new reality system, 44, you will get all of the questions that you need to ask yourself. You will get all of the different directions that you need to walk in to sweep out this corner and reconstruct that and redo this and remake this. And if you don't do it, simply you will just become extinct. It's just that simple. Because the extinction event has already occurred. It has already gone boom, 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 boom. So if you haven't done it, you're not on it. You won't. That's just the way it is. And if you don't believe it, then you'll just extinct anyways. Like, it does not worry me whatsoever. But security is extremely important to continue moving forward. And so as we move forward and continue to go through and eradicate the things that don't exist, we're all here building the best opportunity for us to continue to exist as a species in a level up. We are no longer going to be a species that can be invaded. We will be a species that is a solid species and therefore more valuable. And once you become more valuable, you get a different network. So we will be able to communicate more with other beings, which right now they don't want to communicate with us because we are literally either leeches or we are the sheep with the wolf with the sheep clothing, so to say, because all humans are this until you go through the purification process and the process that I have designed. Now, if you do not desire to go through it, like I said, it's okay. Extinction event already occurred. Your consciousness will just fade out or evaporate or be completely deleted. And so that's just how it is. The earth is already in the movements of change. Everything is already there. You get to choose what you want to do with your existence. That is just where we're at. So, here we are. Here we are. This is what I have became because nobody was going to do it better. I'm not here banging my chest like, hey, Ra. No, it's very, very different. But I do own my power in all of its self, in all ways. And I continually make sure that it is clean and pure. And hey, if you want to try me, I've been through everything. There is nothing that you cannot show me. Because your programming comes from a program I've overcome. Understand yourself deeper and more profoundly, and life will be just what it is. I can't say it's going to be better or worse or lesser or more or whatever the case may be, because I can't speak to each and every individual, because all of you have different aspects of consciousness. You have different renditions of it, different programming, cultural programming, society programs, civilization programming. So allow yourself the existence of who you are, and then choose what you feel like will be the best way. You either get to choose to believe that this really is all happening or not. And it doesn't faze me either way. Do what you feel is best for you, because I'll always do what I feel is best for me. And not feeling is deeper than that, much deeper than that.